On this episode, mental toughness. Hey everybody, welcome to the Quarter Show. I've been reading a lot of military books and Navy SEALs books and things like that recently, and I don't know why, I just kind of attracted that and attracted the Navy SEALs. And the one thing, one of the books I'm reading right now goes over Hell Week, something called Hell Week, and I wrote a blog about this. And for Hell Week, the SEALs, it's part of BUD/S training, and the SEALs have to go through 5.5 days with no more than 4 hours of sleep. Total 4 hours rest. You know, when you think about that, and there's a story, one of the books I'm reading right now, there's a story where the guy, the SEAL, is talking about how, you know, there was a point during Hell Week where there was a separation of essentially mind and body, where he kind of came outside of himself, and there was an element of realizing, or having a realization of how much bigger, how much more he was capable of doing than he thought. What his actual potentialities were much, much, much greater than where he was currently running. And his existence up to that point was at a level that was nowhere near what he was actually capable of. So he was running at a level and thinking, this is my ceiling, this is my ceiling, this is my ceiling. This is as much as I've got, this is as big as I can go. And then he does Hell Week, and he realizes all of the things that were saying it was his ceiling, all these factors that were boxing him in. He realized what he's actually capable of, what he can actually withstand or accomplish or endure. And I think that a lot of us are running on auto. You know, I think a lot of us are running on auto, and I think that we have a very comfortable existence, a very comfortable standard. And you don't realize it, and you go into this idea that, you know what, I'm busy, and we're just so busy. And you're not busy. You know, you're not even running at a fraction of your potential. The truth is, you can tap into a lot more. You can do a lot more than you're doing now, and you just happen to think that your ceiling is here, when in fact it's probably way up here, and you just haven't taken yourself so far and pushed yourself so hard that you've made it through that. And it's one of the things that, you know, I think the big separation here is mental toughness. And part of what I talked about in my article is that everybody who's there, everybody who's at BUD/S, is physically capable. That's proven. They're already there because of it. They're physically capable. That's not the problem. That's not the challenge. The challenge is, are they mentally tough? Are they mentally capable? Can they mentally withstand and endure and get through and sort of mentally hack their way through? And look, if you're an entrepreneur, or you're in sales, or you're a business person in any capacity, you've had your own Hell Week. You've had your own challenges, different things like that. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But there's these obstacles and barriers and rocky terrain that come up along the way that you're inevitably going to face. You're inevitably going to hit. And if you can't mentally push yourself through, right? If you can't mentally push yourself through, you're just not going to make it. And Arnold Schwarzenegger in his book talks about how the body, you know, can keep going, but the mind will throw in the towel way sooner than the body will. Way earlier than the body, the mind will throw in the towel, as opposed to the body. The body can keep going. The body can do more. It's the mind that gives up, you know? And so when you look at it, you have to figure out how you can be mentally tough in any scenario. And if you're in sales, for example, it's like, how can you, if you're not getting the numbers, if it's a tough economy, if you're getting a lot of stops, if you're getting a lot of barriers, how can you tighten up your mental toughness? How can you figure that part out and push yourself to do more, make more phone calls, make more things happen, do more action, stay later, whatever, working the night, whatever it is, but whatever it takes to push through the obstacle, push through the barrier, and get that done. And I think it's really a challenge of mental toughness. And it's not the external environment. It's not, oh, this prospect didn't do this, or oh, this didn't happen, or whatever. It's nothing external. It's all internal. And it's how hard and how much are you willing to push yourself mentally, and how tough can you be mentally, and how many barriers and stops and no's and obstacles can you withstand and continue to persist and continue to stay enthusiastic and continue to get through. How many of those are you willing to hit up against? And it's an incredibly valuable thing in business. And if you can get your mental game on, your mental toughness, your mental stamina, I believe you can conquer almost anything, and you become almost unkillable. But people won't. And you've worked with team members where it gets a little rocky, it gets a little difficult, and they throw in the towel. They just give up. They throw in the towel. They either jump ship and go to another company. They go, you know what, I'm going to go work here, and they come up with reasons and justifications on why that is, or they quit, or they talk about reasons why we can't do this, and dramatize the problem and everything like that. And it boils down to mental toughness, mental stamina. You have to have the ability to persist mentally, and then physically, and then go do it and get it done. And it's a complete game changer in any work that you're doing, no matter what it is, no matter what level you're at. If you're not mental tough, you're not going to get it done. You're not going to get there. And whether it's that you love to do marathons, that for me personally, I'm a runner. Mental toughness applies to running. And I like running because it makes me mentally tough, which I can then take and apply in my work, and I can take and apply in what we do here. So work on the mental toughness, work on your mental game. What can you do to push yourself? And I think you'll be surprised where you can go, how much you're actually capable of. And I think when you realize you should write down right now, you should write down, what is your ceiling? Where do you think your ceiling is in terms of your stats and in terms of what you're doing and how much you're capable of? And then push that number and really look and say, okay, well, what is my hell week? What is my hell week? What if I pushed myself to an insane level? What if I went after that insane level and pushed myself well outside of my comfort zone, well outside of the zone that I think I'm capable of? What if you did that? And you forced yourself to do that. I think you realize what you're actually capable of and what you actually can do. And then you have huge weeks, huge numbers, and you realize that you've now stepped into a brand new zone that you didn't think you could do before. And I think that applies to every single person I come in contact with. I realize their potential, where they think their potential is, and where their potential actually is. And you have to understand that, recognize that, be aware of it, and constantly be striving and pushing towards that potential, right? Every day, and build that right into the work. Not just the mental toughness or the thought process, but actually taking that mental toughness and then moving it into the physical universe and actually doing it. Okay? Hope you take that to heart. I hope that helps. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter @thequarter show. And certainly appreciate you watching. We'll have more coming at you soon.